A northern senator has come out to defend what we have today as the bandits in the north. He has come out to lay claim that the reason or that the force driving their children in the north to join the banditry is because they feel marginalized. It's because these children feel they have not had a share of the national dividends. That what the militants had between the period of 2008 to 2010, when we had the amnesty for the Niger Deltans, that the northern people, the northern youths feel they have not had their own share. Hence the reason why they join the Boko Harams, the ISWAPs, so that when they move in a revolutionary way, when they disrupt the internal security of the nation, that maybe, just maybe, the Nigerian government will listen, cower, and give them their rightful share, just as they have done to the likes of Asari Dokubo, Tompolo, and Co. It was claimed that today Asari Dokubo and Tompolo, amongst their gangs, they have a contract to monitor the national oil pipelines, where they are being paid a sum of 4 billion on a monthly basis. That they in the north, who predominantly go into the Nigerian armed forces, have never gotten such an amnesty program. Hence, their children go into what we call banditry. That it is not illiteracy. That indeed, it is not because they do not go to school. That it is not because these children are basically being radicalized, as we all know, even at the Arabic schools. That those are not the reasons. That it is not even the agenda of Islamization that so many people in the middle belt and of course in the south and southeast, always parrot everywhere that it is Islamization agenda. That no, that force driving those children is marginalization. I'm going to show you that video, right? Let's watch it together.
I am scared whether the safety of the Nigerian civilian within the Nigerian territorial land can be guaranteed.
Okay, welcome back. You see them telling you that at this stage they cannot guarantee the security of the internal structure of Nigeria. That at this rate, that in Nigeria, if care is not taken, might run out of ideas. They might run out of the capacity to restrain these people because they are joining the bandit groups in droves because they feel marginalized. I went into the history and I decided to have some research done. And I found out that between the period of 2010-2011, there were very famous northern elites and leaders, and in fact traditional rulers and leaders, who came out and said that the Boko Harams are not terrorists, but again, these are freedom fighters for the emancipation of the North. They indeed went ahead and said that if the militants of Niger Delta cannot be categorized as terrorists, then why should their sons, the Boko Harams, the ISWAPs, that why should they be categorized as terrorists? That what they are simply, what their grouse and grievances is marginalization from having a share to the dividends, just as the Niger Delta youths who enjoyed a very robust amnesty program under the regime of Yaradua and Jonathan's regime. You see, this level of hypocrisy is why we come out and say that, yes, the North happens to be the spanner in the wheel of progress for Nigeria as a collective. That indeed, if Nigeria must progress, the North, in their majesty as a thing they are, must be demystified. Yes, if Nigeria must progress, and when I mean progress, I do not necessarily mean as the status quo. I mean progress in terms of having a constitutional reform or a revolution whereby the Nigerian people will begin to decide how they want to rule. We know the spanner or the clog to the wheel of such conversations. When anybody tries to have such conversations, you know the people that will rise and tell you, the constitution as it is okay for us. And this is why when I look at the hypocrisy that comes from the north and the cowardry by the southern senators, their lack of bravery to be able to rise and speak truth to power and confront these oligarchs right from the north, where they have a consensus that anything that wants to this down to be a conversation about restructuring the country, all of them will rise and go against it. When they tell you that one man cannot change a nation, you have to understand that you cannot be as stupid as a common Nigerian. Because a common Nigerian will tell you that one man do not have the capacity to turn around the fate of this nation. It is a lie, a blatant lie. Today, one of those persons that we can suggest that has the capacity to turn around the fate of the southern Nigeria is, of course, nobody else but Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. But putting Nnamdi Kanu aside, hammering on this issue of hypocrisy, if anybody wants to talk about marginalization, it should be the Southeast. But again, they don't. They do not come out every day and cry wolf, cry their tears, cry their eyes into red. They do not. They have moved on. At this stage, if by 2027, even if a Peter Obi does not emerge as a president, and even if a Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, which I do not hope, however, if he's still incarcerated, the Igbo man will move on. And the struggle, the ideology will never die. So tell me, what is the ideology driving the northern youths into banditry, Mr. Senator? Or Mr. House of Rep, as the case is. There you are, laying claims that you are scared. Listen, when children are largely in their numbers uneducated, just anybody can come and brainwash them. I repeat, when people are uninformed, where they do not have that mental stamina to process information critically, they will be brainwashed using the religious ethos. So this defense, this low level, petty level of defense that it is not because of illiteracy that our youth are joining Boko Harams and bandits. No. It is because they feel marginalized. What arrant nonsense coming from this rep? What arrant nonsense? If it is marginalization, why don't we have the whole of southern youth, southeastern youth? Why have we not had them join one banditry or not? But again, when you have lack of knowledge, okay, when you suffer from illiteracy, when they throw you crumbs, you are ready to hand over your birthright. Is this not what the colonial masters did for our forefathers? Because of the high level of illiteracy in Africa, West Africa as a whole, we saw how the white men used just mere glass to enslave us. We saw how they use aromatic shinap, that kind where you know say men they shack. They'll give you you hand over to them, 4 able-bodied men. We saw how they, for just horses and dengons, they said bring in 16 heads. These are 4 able-bodied men. If you want a gun, you bring in 16. If you want a horse, you bring in 16 or 18 thereabout. That is the level of hypocrisy that the northern children are suffering today. They are being told that when you die for the cause of your religion, you have over 76 pure, beautiful virgins waiting for you in the beyond. And this is why you see so many of them willingly. They want to go out there and commit their life. The agenda is, if they were educated, heavily educated, they would not be easily overrun. They would not be easily misled by these foreign militias as reported, where it is said that it is foreign militias that come into Nigeria and they offer them 500, 1,000. You can imagine the chicken change and they join the group. When the North are ready to talk the truth, I believe Nigeria will not last a month until we begin to see progress. But for now, we know the level of hypocrisy out there. Yes, we know that they do not want that, and they will do everything to defend their children. Before they would even allow the Nigerian government to label these terrible people terrorists, we know how long the Senate had to battle. We know that to this very day, they call the likes of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu terrorists. We know to this very day, they have drawn a battle line with Tinubu that if you release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, you are an enemy of one Nigeria. However, these same people who have come out to say that if you release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, are the same people that are commending and are still recommending that the government must continue to rehabilitate every arrested bandit. Let's say, for instance, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was arrested. Okay, does it not have that level playing field to enjoy what we call even a third chance? Right? Does he not? However, where we are in this country, the place and the region that you come from determine and defines the characteristics of law that will be applied to whatever offense that you commit. Let us watch the complete version of the House of Reps speech. Thank you.
Bugatti. I'm from Plateau State. Mr. Speaker, you will only understand the heaviness of the content of this motion if we are privileged to see the picture of what Boko Haram did to Giwa barracks and other attacks within military formations in Borno State. Mr. Speaker, the pictures I saw, I am scared. I am scared whether the safety of the Nigerian civilian within the Nigerian territorial land can be guaranteed. Mr. Speaker, we budgeted for money, arms and ammunition, tanks numbering more than 40, including other platforms that belongs to the Nigerian military that is aimed at safeguarding our people, have been taken away worth trillions of naira by Boko Haram. How can we guarantee the safety of the Nigerian people in the circumstance that the platform that are meant to protect these people have been taken away by the enemies of the people? Mr. Speaker, we have been doing our best under your leadership. The National Assembly have been speaking on issues of insecurity. But Mr. Speaker, actions by departments of government must be taken. Mr. President must hold Nigerian military strategic commandants and other head of security agencies accountable for negligence of their responsibility. In as much as we appreciate, Mr. Speaker, the security agencies for putting their life at the front line to protect Nigerians, to make sure Nigerians sleep, we must hold somebody accountable that taxpayers' money used to buy guns, used to buy other platform for Nigerian military to fight, will be compromised and be donated like a form of free of charge to the enemies of this country. Mr. Speaker, this is unacceptable.
In the next 1 minute, I'm going to show you the many lies the Nigerian government told hold regarding Simon Ekpa's extradition. I told you guys that Simon Ekpa is a citizen of Finland, and there's never a way Simon Ekpa will be sent back to this hellhole. Listen to what the current CDS has to say, how he vowed that Simon Ekpa will be retreated or repatriated. But today, there are conventions because Finland has come out to openly expose the lies that there was never a time they had any conversation about Simon Ekpa extradition. Watch it.
Yeah. You've told me before that you're working with the foreign authorities to ensure, but now what updates do you have now?
The Nigerian government have forwarded all the relevant documents, exhibits, and everything about what's going on. So I'm sure I'm sure justice will be done.
So it looks like it's taking longer than necessary.
We have repeatedly complained about the issue of Simon Ekpa. He is in Finland. The Finnish government are giving him all the support, and he's doing what he's doing. Comments he's making, people are being killed, and nothing is being done. And this is democracy. If the European Union is the one supporting democracy, and this is happening, and they're not taking action, then they don't mean well for Nigeria.
Okay, welcome back. Let us quickly click on the like button, share this program, and of course, like and drop your comment. But before I continue, let me have a cheers to everybody who supports emancipation of the Prince of Africa, who supports emancipation of the black man, and yet is to that freedom. Let's go ahead. Some months ago, precisely January 5th, I'm going to post the video at the end of this program. I made a statement that Finland will never at any point in time extradite its citizens. What does that mean? You know, the Nigerian government, the Attorney General came out and said that they have had conversations, they have submitted some documents, and therefore Simon Ekpa will be released, will be returned back to Nigeria, which is his place of birth, that he has committed some grievous atrocities against this contraption named Nigeria. The Christopher Musa also went, as you watched earlier, you know, boasting that Simon Ekpa by May 5th will be returned to Nigeria. But here we are almost at the middle of the May. The Nigerian government, as you can see on my screen, are now beginning to say that wait guys, Finland is a sovereign state. In due time, they will decide if Simon Ekpa will be returned back to Nigeria. I have never ever listened to a shameless statement coming from a country like this, a country that will openly lie, right, on what they do not have the capacity to do. A country where you are being told not to speak the truth, that the truth is the marketing. Oh, we all saw the various attacks that was unleashed on Peter Obi, because Peter Obi said the only blatant and blunt truth that Nigeria is like a failed state. Again, we heard Christopher Musa saying that Nigeria is the democracy. That why if European Union are the custodians of democracy, why are they still holding Simon Ekpa? I dare everybody that says Nigeria is a democracy to go to the street of any country in Nigeria and ask the Nigerian people that do the people have a say in the operations of the government? Do the people have a say even in the election? When it comes to the electioneering process and time, do elections count? If Nigeria was a democracy, why has the Biafran referendum not been adhered or at least listened to? Let us be sincere here. Nigeria does not in any way portrays itself as a democracy. And don't be deceived when they tell you that it's only democracy that allows freedom of speech. Democracy's foundational tenet is not only about freedom of speech. There are so many other forms of governance that allows freedom of speech. What they do not allow, even democracy does not guarantee freedom after speech. We have received so many threats on this channel. Yes, when Simon Ekpa when he had not been apprehended by the Finnish government, upon which I made a program, I said it was alleged that it was the Nigerian government that framed Simon Ekpa up, because it was just shortly after Simon Ekpa went into what we call fundraising fund for the what? Independence Day that was declared in December. You know, when they had that final fundraising for that Biafran Liberation Day in the Cibolo Square that was conducted in Finland, it was reported and alleged that it was a governor that sent a very huge amount of money that flagged the account that was used for that donation that led to the arrest of Simon Ekpa. You see the deceptive schemes, how this Fulani Janjaweed controlled nation operates. But again, let us go back to the issue. I am surprised when I came online today and I started reading all manners of stories that the ATF came out to confess that, come on man, guys, we have to wait for Finland. If it's going to take them 6 months, if it's going to take them 12